It's Friday, May 12. In the headlines, JPS seeks an increase in service charges. In business news, we feature 138 student living and Twitter has a new CEO. Regionally, in Antigua and Barbuda, Hollywood actress Angela Bassett sends a cease and desist letter. Internationally, new restrictions as Title 42 ends in the U.S. And in sports, 2 Jamaicans named in the Windies ICC World Cup squad. This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon and Mr. Abka Fitzhenley are set to join the members of the Upper House of Parliament. Their appointment to the Senate today, Friday, May 12, follows the resignation of Senators Natalie Campbell-Rodriguez and Leslie Campbell. Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon is a 2004 Fulbright scholar and an alum of the University of the West Indies, where she completed a BSS in Economics First Class and an MSc in Government with distinction. She has served as a senior executive of the Jamaica National Group. Dr. Dixon has also served in senior public sector roles in the Office of the Prime Minister and JAMPRO. Mr. Abka Fitzhenley is a multiple award-winning media practitioner and communication consultant. His highly successful media career spanned 13 years. Over the years, Mr. Fitzhenley has won, among others, Young Journalist of the Year Award from the Press Association of Jamaica and Jamaica Broilers Fair Play First Place Award for Investigative Journalism and is the recipient of the Caribbean Blog Award. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is showcasing its latest technologies and quality management systems at the inaugural Transformations JCF People, Quality and Technology Expo. It's being held at the National Arena in Kingston since Thursday, May 11 and will end on May 14. Prime Minister Andrew Holness lauded the technology systems being implemented within the force, but notes that the force remains centered around the people it serves.
What are we striving for? And it is clear that the JCF is striving always to improve its quality. That substance of doing better, of being better, of delivering better quality.
The Prime Minister notes the integration of high-end technology into the force.
But it is not technology that will sit on a shelf, because the values of the JCF has changed. And an important value of the JCF is that every member now understands that technology can make their operations more efficient and increase their service delivery. And so they are actively seeking ways to integrate and mainstream technology into their daily service to the public. And that's a very important change in the organization.
He says that even with increased technology and force, the JCF remains a service organization. Jamaicans could see an increase in their electricity bill soon. The Jamaica Public Service Company Limited, JPS, has submitted its 2023 annual tariff adjustment application to the Office of Utilities Regulation, the OUR. JPS states that with the proposed adjustments, residential and some commercial customers will see a marginal increase of 0.8% and 0.2% respectively. Other commercial and industrial customers could see reductions above 2.3% if JPS's proposal is accepted by the OUR. The OUR says, as is customary, it will make public its decision on the JPS annual adjustment application. Effective June 1, 2023, Jamaican workers should see wage increases. Labour and Social Security Minister Carl Samuda says the national minimum wage will move from $9,000 to $13,000 per 40-hour week. He advised that the new single rate for work done during any period not exceeding 40 hours per week will be $325 per hour. He told Parliament recently that the minimum wage for industrial security guards will be increased from $10,500 to $14,000 per 40-hour work week. Additionally, work done during any period in excess of 40 hours in any week will attract a time-and-a-half rate. That rate will be increased to $525 per hour. In the business report, 138 student living making moves, and Elon Musk announces a new CEO for Twitter. Time now for the business report with Denita Rodney.
The 138 student living halls of residence are the newest student accommodations on the UWI Mona campus. Simone Absalom Gale caught up with the company's CEO, Cranston Hewans.
Hello, welcome to 138 Student Living. You're at the Gerald Layla Flats, and I want to show you what we have as our offering.
All right.
Well, here we have one of our flats. It's the common area that we're standing in. And in here we offer all the amenities that you desire. Over here we have our cable television. We have over here fully furnished with our refrigerator and stove, electric stove that you can cook and prepare your meals, and all the utensils that you need. And your general living area with your dining and your sofa that you can just relax and enjoy the facility. Each of these flats have 4 bedrooms, and they come with their own ensuite bathrooms and television sets and everything. So it's pretty nice and comfortable. We have a team of excellent maintenance staff. They are very effective at what they do. Recently, we have decided to support their efforts with the Manager Plus software, wherein for every single room, we have a barcode posted on the door. And any of our residents or even our housekeepers can easily just take a picture of the barcode, and through that system, they can report any maintenance issue. Once that is done, it rolls straight up to our operations manager and the maintenance head. From there, that information is disseminated to a member of the maintenance team, who then takes action to resolve those issues, either immediately for emergencies or within 12 hours is our maximum time frame. Would you like a drink of our water? It's good enough for you to have.
Who's your target market for this type of apartment now?
Right, so our target market is very diverse, and it could range from postgraduate students who want something a little bit more private because they are more mature, and some of them do patronize this opportunity. We also have UWI affiliated, that's the University of the West Indies affiliated persons, like professors or persons who are coming in from international for a meeting, and they would come and stay with us for the duration of that time. In addition to that, we're partnered with the University Hospital of the West Indies. So if someone is coming in for Medicare, and if their caregiver is coming with them, or some family member, then you also find that this is very attractive because we're so close to the university. In addition to that, we are patronized by universities internationally who may have something here in Jamaica, let's say a research project or anything, or you also could have, for example, sporting groups that are coming, and they want this type of accommodation because, right here you can see the facility is well secured and everything, and security, of course, is a key concern for a lot of international people.
There are other options for each student seeking accommodation.
For those buildings, they are for everybody. Everybody who is coming to the university as a student can rent one of our apartments. On a typical floor, you will have, let's say, 8 or 12 bedrooms. These also have their own bathrooms. And then you have a common area that, serves all the students, where they can cook and prepare their meals, watch television, cable television, and interact, socially interaction. Of course, we have another hall, the Irving Hall, and that caters also in a similar way, but you have more double occupancy there. And the rates there are a little bit more competitive. So it attracts also, different students from different socioeconomic backgrounds. All right, so here at 138, we have a very robust safety and security system. Not only do we employ our own security officers, some 35 or more of them, and each of them are stationed at our entrance gates and at each blocks that we have. In addition to that, we are also manned by a 24-hour CCTV camera system at all of our residents. And from that, our chief of security is able to monitor exactly everything that happens around the premises and all the perimeter fencing and so on. And we also can monitor remotely from like your telephone, and from wherever you are, you can see what happens on the premises. Also, our residence has an additional layer of security, such as this one, where they have each are given a swipe card for direct access to their rooms.
Tell me about your shuttle service. That's an additional level of security for persons staying here, right?
Yes, it is indeed. So we have a shuttle service. So if you're an international resident, for example, or guest coming in, we can pick you up at the airport and take you right here to your destination in a very safe and guided way. And while you're here, if you want to go to the supermarket, to visit somewhere else, to go on a little tour, we stand ready to take you there so that you can do whatever you please in the comfort, knowing that you're safe with us and you're being taken to your destination to and fro in a very safe way.
For your market updates, in foreign exchange trading for Thursday, May 11, the US dollar sold for an average of $155.61. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $115.32. The pound sterling traded for $196.91, and the euro sold for $171.99. In JSE trading, the JSE index declined by 84 points. The junior market index advanced by 42 points. The combined market index advanced by 335 points, and the all Jamaican composite index advanced by 3,407 points. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 105 stocks, of which 49 advanced, 44 declined, and 12 traded firm. Stocks advanced for Virgin Paints Jamaica Limited, Cargo Handlers Limited, and Caribbean Assurance Brokers Limited. Stocks declined for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited, Access Financial Services Limited, and AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited. Trading firm were 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited Viable Preference, Caribbean Cream Limited, and Community and Workers of Jamaica CCU Deferred Share. The overall volume leaders were Wigton Wind Farm Limited Ordinary Shares with over 3 million units, Trans Jamaican Highway Limited, and Image Plus Consultants Limited with over 1 million units. In regional stocks, in Trinidad and Tobago, Calisa Macro Index Fund posted 831 shares. On the Barbados Stock Exchange, Cape Shepherd and Company Limited was the volume leader with over 4,000 shares. They were followed by Goddard Enterprises Limited and the First Caribbean International Bank, which traded 313 and 189 shares respectively. In regional business, from the figures presented by the Finance Minister, Trinidad and Tobago's fiscal deficit will be around $5 billion more than projected. This is largely due to the over $3 billion supplementation to paying outstanding bills. More in this report.
Let's start with the numbers to work out our new budget deficit. In September 2022, during the budget presentation, Minister Imbert announced a deficit of around $1.5 billion. But in his mid-year presentation, the Finance Minister said we may not hit that revenue target, as it's now expected to be
somewhere in the region of $1 billion less than original estimates.
Now add that to the recently requested and approved $3.8 billion in supplemental funding, and we can ascertain that the new deficit for fiscal 2023 will be around $6.3 billion. Now, the minister did not officially declare the new deficit figure and did admit they would have preferred not to have asked for the extra $3.85 billion. However, he said,
we've had some very hard years in the last 7 years, and therefore much of the supplementation is designed to clear off a backlog of bills.
The minister said the paying off of VAT refunds contributed to lower revenue, and he made a promise to small and medium-sized businesses.
We are going to clear off every single outstanding VAT refund that is of the order of $250,000 or less in cash in the months of May and June.
Now, those who are owed more will be issued bonds at an interest rate of 3.15% per annum. But the minister does not anticipate that the state will have to borrow money to make up for the new deficit. And Minister Imbert said the IMF also said the contribution of the non-energy sector was now more than 2/3 of the economy. Akash Samaru, CNC3 News.
In international business, the Dow and S&P 500 ended lower, dragged down by Disney as it's lost subscribers, while PacWest led declines in regional banks after posting a drop in deposits.
The Dow shed more than 0.6%. The S&P dropped nearly 0.2%, while the Nasdaq ticked up 0.2%. Lifting the Nasdaq, shares of Alphabet, which rose a day after Google rolled out more AI products to better compete with Microsoft. But Cleo Curry, Vice President of Wealth Management at UBS Financial Services, says she's cautious about big tech despite its big run-up this year.
What I've been telling clients with regards to AI and the opportunities within the tech space is keep in mind that from my standpoint, valuations are still quite high. So I would caution investors not to get too excited about one particular area of the market. It's important to understand why that's happening and then what is coming up, what we are anticipating happening later in the year, which is a slowing economy. And that may have a muted effect of growth on the tech stock.
And it was another rough day for PacWest. The bank's shares dropped after it reported that its deposits fell 9.5% last week and that it had posted more collateral to the U.S. Federal Reserve to boost its liquidity. Other regional bank shares fell as well, as the news renewed worries about the industry's health following the recent collapse of 3 regional lenders. Among other movers, Walt Disney shares slid a day after the company reported a drop in subscribers to its streaming service, Disney+. And shares of Tesla jumped in late trading after CEO Elon Musk said in a tweet that he had found a new chief executive for Twitter. The move is likely to allay Tesla investors' concerns, who have been increasingly worried about the time that Musk is devoting to turning around Twitter.
In market data for oil prices stabilized and were set to end the week flat as the market balanced supply fears against renewed economic concerns in the United States and China. Brent crude futures were down 5 cents at $74.93 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude futures were up 4 cents at $70.91. And that was the business report on PBCJ. I'm Danita Rodney.
In regional news, in the Bahamas, Forum for Impact Americas hosted an event on Thursday evening under the theme Convergence of Resilience, Conservation and Investment. Minister for Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxie, in her address, said despite many challenges the country has faced, they remain the center for resiliency.
We are at a crossroads where the choices we make will determine the future of our island and our people. But let me assure you that as developments happen, as opportunities present itself, as progress is made, as we research and implement innovative solutions, and as we recover, rebuild, and revolutionize not just Grand Bahama, but the entire Bahamas, we want to empower our people along the way.
Moxie says she wants Bahamians to recognize the country is biodiverse.
and must incorporate biodiversity into local planning and management as a pillar of socio-economic development. We must pursue environmentally sustainable communities that protect, preserve, and restore. This conference is an opportunity for us to come together, to share ideas, to learn from one another.
The lawyers for Hollywood actress Angela Bassett wrote to Antigua and Barbuda's tourism officials asking them to stop using her image in relation to her tourism ambassador role until a formal agreement is reached. Prime Minister Gaston Brown told ABS News in an exclusive interview that he has instructed tourism officials to contact lawyers for Ms. Bassett to address their concerns. Garfield Burford reports.
The government had announced last week that the high-profile actresses Angela Bassett and her close friend and fellow star Dawn Lewis had agreed to serve in the voluntary role as tourism ambassadors. Bassett's image and biographical data has since been used in association with the role, but her lawyers have said not so fast. Fox Rothschild LLP says while she's honored to be considered for this distinction, the tourism authorities should immediately cease and desist from using her name, image, and biographical information in association with the designation of tourism ambassador until the parties have reached a mutual agreement.
Yeah, I think that the tourism officials, in their exuberance, would have acted prematurely by utilizing her name and her biodata, as well as the images. As you know, you deal with an international star, and invariably you have to seek their formal approval.
The Prime Minister says while the role has been agreed to on both sides, the formal agreement has not yet come, so tourism officials ought to have waited.
Would have had dinner with Angela, and she indicated a willingness to serve, and I don't think there's any real issue there other than they may recognize there's some potential challenges that could arise if we do not complete the documentation and the terms of reference and so on prior to any such usage of her intellectual property. And again, intellectual property has value. So I don't think that even if she chose to be an ambassador for the country, I don't know that we have the carte blanche right to utilize her images, all of her intellectual property. I mean, we have to get specific permission. So anyhow you look at it, I think they acted, I say, preemptively, and again, not with any malice, but perhaps ought to have known better.
I asked the Prime Minister how the issue will be resolved.
What I have done is that I've asked the officials to get on to the attorneys and to try and resolve this issue as soon as possible. But what I can say here, I do not believe that there was any deliberate attempt by tourism officials to violate. Again, as I said, they acted, presumptuously and preemptively without first allowing the modalities to be completed.
In international news, Title 42, a pandemic-related policy which severely limited the number of migrants entering the United States on its southern border, has been lifted. But it has been replaced by strict new rules. Al Jazeera's John Hendren reports.
The swelling crowds surging the U.S. southern border mark the end of pandemic-era immigration rules. Between Mexico and the Texas border wall, now 4,000 U.S. troops join thousands of border control agents at the vanguard of an effort to push back the swelling human tide.
Our borders are not open. People who cross our border unlawfully and without a legal basis to remain will be promptly processed and removed.
El Paso's Sacred Heart Church has long been home to about 200 migrants, many spilling out into the streets, surviving on donated food and bathing outdoors. Lately, the number seeking refuge has spiked.
There were up to 1,200 people around this area, on the sidewalks, on some of these side streets.
Earlier this week, U.S. immigration agents moved them for processing ahead of the expected surge to come. These are the lucky ones, the migrants who arrived and avoided deportation from the U.S. before the end of Title 42, the pandemic-era rule that allowed the U.S. to turn away 2.7 million migrants over the past 3 years.
In sports, Jamaicans Rovman Powell and Brandon King have been named in the regional team's 15-member squad for the ICC World Cup qualifiers in Zimbabwe in June. The cricket team will be captained by Shai Hope and has seen recalls for the Guyanese pair of Kimo Paul and Gudakesh Moti, who last played an ODI in July 2022 against India at the Queen's Park Oval. The squad is completed by Shamar Brooks, Yannick Saraya, Casey Carty, Roston Chase, Jason Holder, Akil Hussain, Alzari Joseph, Kyle Mayers, Nicholas Puran, and Romario Shepherd. Time now for ENews with Alicia Steele.
What's up, and welcome to another exciting episode of PBCJ's ENews. I'll be your host, Alicia, and on this edition, we have some great news to share with you. Track star Shelly and Fraser Price has won the 2023 Laureate Sports Award. Spice and the Angel have ended their feud, plus many more stories to cover. So, let's dive into it. The Waterhouse community is celebrating yet another monumental achievement by one of its very own. Shelly and Fraser Price, a native of Waterhouse and one of the greatest sprinters of all time, was named World Sportswoman of the Year at the 2023 Laureate Sports Awards. Fraser Price, who is also a devoted Christian, received her award at a star-studded ceremony in Paris on Monday. In her acceptance speech, she highlighted her humble beginnings in Waterhouse and spoke about the importance of setting a positive example for young people. Fraser Price's victory is a source of great pride for the people of Waterhouse. The community is known for its high crime rate and poverty, but Fraser Price is a shining example of what can be achieved through hard work and dedication. She is an inspiration to young people all over Jamaica, and her victory at Laureate Award is a reminder that anything is possible. Dancehall stars Spice and the Angel have buried the hatchet after a public feud in 2019. The two singers were joking and laughing with each other at the IRAMA Awards, and they even unblocked each other on Instagram. The reunion was celebrated by many in the dancehall community, including Pampute, Queen Lady Gangster, as we know her, Queenie, and selector Pink Panther. It is refreshing to see two dancehall's biggest stars put their differences aside and come together. Chris Blackwell, the founder of Island Records, has been awarded the 2023 Polar Music Prize, one of the most prestigious music prizes in the world. Blackwell is being honored for his exceptional achievements in the music industry, including his role in introducing ska and reggae to the world. Blackwell founded Island Records in Jamaica in 1959. The label quickly became a major force in the ska and reggae movements, and it also released albums by artists such as Bob Marley, U2, and Roxy Music. Blackwell is known for his commitment to the artistic integrity, and he has always put the music first, rather than focus on sale figures. Reggae veteran Shaggy and Spice, along with Senegalese-American singer Akon, are set to release a new collaboration in the near future. A video of the three artists working together in a recording studio was posted on Shaggy's Instagram page last Friday. This is not the first time that Shaggy and Spice have collaborated. The two teamed up with Sean Paul for the club banger Wine and Go Down There, which was featured on Spice's debut album 10. The track Bad Girl from the album 10 also features Shaggy. Akon is no stranger to working with Jamaican artists. He has collaborated with Vybz Kartel, Beenie Man, and Sean Paul in the past. The upcoming collaboration between Shaggy, Spice, and Akon is sure to be a hit with fans of all three artists. Now that's a wrap. I'm your girl, Alicia. I'm here to thank you for tuning in to PBCJ's ENews. I hope you enjoy the show. And I'd like to give a special shout out to Hair Addiction Collections for my wig. Thanks again for joining us. And remember to live an entertaining lifestyle.
Thanks, Alicia. And that's it for the news on PBCJ. Pleasant viewing.